productivity and decision making, all this would be slow and frankly unwieldy. Without wireless, regional and international business sites would not be able to talk to each other in the best possible way. Smart homes, smart factories, smart vehicles, smart cities, and smart grids are all now possible. What began as just another buzzword just a few years ago is taken on concrete form around the world and right here in Canada. The Internet of Things is another revolution in the way we connect with each other, but because it is a vision of all things being connected to each other. From people to people, to machine to people, and now machine to machine. The scale is really almost unimaginable, but it is fast becoming reality. One of our CWTA members, Ericsson, is a global leader in this field and has predicted that the world will have 50 billion connected devices by 2020, just over 5 years from now. Now, when you think of 50 billion devices, there's only 7 billion people around the planet. It's really amazing. Everything from traffic systems to automotive transportation, logistics, security, home appliances, healthcare, vending, and point-of-sale, critical infrastructure, personal electronic devices, gaming consoles, and the list goes on and on and on. Another CWTA member, Huawei, predicts that 5G wireless networks will support 1,000-fold increases in capacity and 10 gigabit per second speeds in order to meet the demand of the Internet of Things. The productivity potential is staggering if we embrace this revolution in a smart way, as the term suggests.
What we're talking about is adding internet thinking to industrial systems. And there is a huge number of industries that can be made more efficient, and there are entirely new business models that come from adding internet thinking to industrial systems. So that's the way we think of it. That's where the name industrial internet comes from, and that's why I'm going to talk about the industrial internet. McKinsey Global Institute calls it $36 trillion operating cost savings. That's an interesting point. There are opportunities here that are not necessarily just about making things more efficient, but about creating new revenue opportunities. Let me give you an example. If you go to a jet engine manufacturer anywhere in the world today, and say I need jet engines for my new airliner. Normally, and for many years, decades, they have sold you the engine for about 80% to 90% of the value of the engine. And then over the next 20 to 40 years, they would sell you 5 times that amount in spare parts. In other words, they made money with the parts. If you go to General Electric today and a couple of other jet engine manufacturers, they say, well, you can buy it that way if you like. But if you prefer, we will sell you propulsion as a service. We will sell you a number of hundreds of thousands of pounds of propulsion over a number of hours and guarantee that the fuel use will be this much or less. And if the fuel use goes above that, we'll pay for the fuel. And furthermore, we will decrease that fuel use guarantee by 1% per year for the life of the lease. That's a really interesting thing, right? I mean, that means that they have to know a lot more about how that engine is used. But of course, before, when they sold you the engine, they no longer heard from the engine ever again. It was an instant divorce. And this is true for what most manufacturers, right? Most manufacturers lose the connection with their final customer because they sell it through a distribution channel, to a retailer, to a consumer, and they never hear back from the consumer except they might get a warranty card. Anybody ever sent back a warranty card, by the way?
Nobody knows what the business models are going to be in 2 or 3 years. But the ones who are going to be successful are the ones who are out there experimenting already. So they might try a business model of offering their product as a service for a few months, monitor it, get feedback, see how it's working. If it's working, great. They might enhance that, expand the trial. If it's not working, try another business model. So that experimentation in business models and technology and the capabilities that you provide to your end customers, that's what it's all about. Second point is, don't build it all yourself. There's just so much technology. I see a lot of customers wanting to stand up their own Internet of Things cloud service and implement their own analytics and all this. It's just wasted effort because there is so much technology to buy and leverage from other people who have already done that hard work. Focus on your application. Focus on your business problem and your end users and what will be interesting to them. If there's a technology you realize you have to go and implement, look first to see if it's been done somewhere else and just buy it, leverage it, don't implement it yourself. The third thing is the interesting part, I've given a couple examples already, is it's not just what data can I get from this device, but how can I combine different data sets? Now that weather analytics company I talked about is sort of a good example. Again, they don't own any of the devices. They didn't generate the data. Their insight was to take data from weather and climate models, data from individual farmer fields and so on, and probably geospatial data, and combine those into new models that gave the farmers information about weather in their particular area for their particular crop. So they're just combining data sets in interesting new ways. And you can think about that in all kinds of industries. So if I look at cars, it's data from the car itself, data about the area around the car, data about weather. It makes a big difference whether it's sunny outside or this black ice on the road. So that combination of data is where you're going to get the power to build new services and to innovate in Internet of Things. So don't try and think about just the one big thing. Try to look at different data and how those might combine into new possibilities and where you can get that data. You don't have to develop it all yourself. Quite frequently, the data is already out there.